Welcome into A Toast of Film. I'm one of your hosts, Ebo, and guys, we got a pretty good episode today. I'm on vacation this week, so I'm very refreshed, been checking out some movies, and so we're actually doing 3 theatrical releases. That's it for this episode. But we got The Crow, afrAID, and Sing Sing. And so I'm very excited to talk about these for different reasons, depending on which one. But like I said, I'm on vacation, so we're toasting. I got the Shiner Lemonade Shandy seasonal. It's pretty good. Love it. It's very refreshing, very drinkable. So if you got this in your area and you partake responsibly, I think you should give it a shot. Pretty good, pretty good. But I say this week, let's work our way up. Normally, I start on a high note, but then we end on a sour note. So this week, I want to end on a good note because we got a lot of good to look forward to this week. Football is back. Be watching the Dogs and also the Falcons this weekend, hosting the Steelers. And then also we got Beetlejuice. Name so nice, you got to say it twice. So stay tuned as we will hit up that episode this week. Sorry about the look. As I always like to mention, I am basically an 80-year-old man in a 35-year-old man body, so I'm not very good with technology. We're still working on getting the video nice for y'all, but it's better than seeing this disarrayed room behind me. So let's go ahead and get into a movie that a lot of people, when it was announced, they were already dogging it, and I was not one because I actually don't care about the original movie. And that is The Crow. So, from director Rupert Sanders, who, interesting guy, his does not have a track record of people liking his films. He brought us Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson. He also brought us Snow White and the Huntsman, which I actually liked the first one. I didn't think it was bad. Pretty good little movie. Got a old, oh my God, why am I blanking? I know it's got Chris Hemsworth, and then it has our girl from Twilight and Underwater. I'm sorry, guys, I'm blanking on her name. But in this one, we have Bill Skarsgård, who plays Eric. And, he falls in love with this girl, Shelly. And they have, this little quick romance. And then they die. And then he comes back as this vengeful spirit, the crow who's gonna try and kill people. Great villain. It's got old Danny Houston, big Danny Houston fan. He's got to be a really nice guy because he always plays a villain and is very good at it. He plays Vincent Rogue in this. And I have to say, there are a lot of issues. So let me preface. I do not care about the original Crow with Brandon Lee. I saw it like 20-something years ago. I haven't watched it since. I don't care. I didn't like it as a kid. Maybe I'll like it now. I'll give it a shot soon enough. But this, one, it's boring as all get out. Just slow, boring. Who cares? Two, the action is just at best. Like, they want to be cool. They add a lot of blood, but it's just But my biggest issue is Eric and Shelly. Like, who cares, man? They're not great people. They kind of suck as humans. They just want to do drugs and have sex and drink and all this stuff, but they never give you any reason to care about them, was my big issue. Like, you can tell they're in love, and for some people that might be enough, but for me, I don't care about them, and I don't really care for them as people. So when the bad stuff happens, you're like, whatever. And I know The Crow is always an emo thing. Like, it's a very emo feeling, very like Hot Topic-esque feeling, but this one was over the top emo. The opening scene with the credits, I was just like, oh, buddy, what did I get myself into? But The Crow, I don't think it's the absolute dumpster fire that a lot of people do think. I've definitely seen much worse this year, probably about 10 or 11 films that are worse. But I do think this is a bad film, and at best, you should maybe watch on streaming. But even then, you could honestly probably skip it. So I'm gonna give The Crow, maybe like a 2.3. No, I can't go that high. I'm sorry, Crow. I was trying, man. Maybe like a 1.8. Like, it's nothing I ever want to recheck. I don't want to watch it ever again. But I don't hate it. It's just bad. Not everything has to be the worst film ever made. Just bad. Now, next up, this is where we get interesting. This is afrAID with a capital A, capital I for AI. And this is directed by Chris Weitz. Sorry if I'm messing up your name. I have a history of butchering names. So he directed Golden Compass, which I'm a big fan of. Great movie. He also directed Twilight Saga New Moon, which I say with Twilight movies, the odds are good, the evens are terrible. But, I mean, he has a history of writing some good stuff. He wrote Ants. He wrote Nutty Professor 2, Cinderella, The Creator, Rogue One. So, Buddy can write. And in this one, we got John Cho as Curtis. His wife is Catherine Watterson. So, right off the bat, two very good actors. We also have Hannah Rose Liu as Melody / Aya. Aya is the AI in this movie. And David Dastmalchian and Ashley Roman, too, also really good actors, are just, side characters in this. So very good cast. And this is where they have a new AI that they install into this gentleman's family's house. And it's really helpful at first, really cool, doing all kinds of great things. But then we start to see some of the more sinister aspects. And I think this movie, it starts out fine enough movie, something that probably should have been on streaming. Everybody in it is giving a pretty good performance, even the kids. Old Hannah Rose, doing good as the, one character, but then also as the AI voice. The lead's killing it. Side character's good. I'll say that for the first 2/3 of the movie, this was just an okay movie. Nothing to write home about, but nothing I disliked. However, that last third of the movie, this movie goes off the rails into a whole nother, craziness. And that's where it sold me. I was thinking this movie is just okay. And then I left thinking, okay, you know what? This movie is actually a pretty good time because it goes off the rails in that last third. So, afrAID, when I went and saw it, I was wondering if it was going to be like the Disney Channel movie Smart House. Let me tell you, back in the day, young Ebo loved watching Smart House because the AI representation, that actress, she was beautiful. And they didn't do anything like that with this. They stuck more to, the kind of Alexa voicey type deal. But this movie, I still think it's not one of my top movies of the year, but I did have a good time, especially once it got to that last third. And I would give afrAID like a 3.3 cheers. It's a good movie, better than just a film. And I don't necessarily think you need to go to streaming, but to theaters. I think you should just wait till streaming personally. But either way, I think just give it a chance to get to that last third where it just becomes over the top fun, and I think you'll enjoy it. But lastly, this was a film I hadn't heard anything about, hadn't seen a trailer, and I went to check it out because, I have AMC A-list. I check out everything. And this was from director Greg Coucher. And this is called Sing Sing, and it is about the Sing Sing facility. It's a maximum security prison in Ossing, New York. And this is based on a true story. So basically, in this prison, max security, they have a theater program where every 6 months they do a production, and the inmates get to, they get to write a script, they get to act, and they get to put on a show. And it's a very beautiful way of doing rehabilitation because it teaches them, helps them with responsibility and learning these lines and where they, come in the play and where they're standing. And it helps them by taking them out of this very confined world, very dark world that they're in, being in this prison, and lets them, go to the Sahara Desert, go to outer space, go to pirate ships. And it stars two like Hollywood actors. One of my favorite people going, Coleman Domingo playing Divine G. Absolutely love this man. He's in Rustin. He was in The Color Purple. This man, I dare say, could be the best acting male in the business and potentially top 5, actors in the business currently. And he just gives such good, heartfelt performances. And we also have Sean San Jose as Mike. And so telling you, this movie, it's based on true story, telling you what a beautiful drama it is, that would be enough on its own. But what really takes this to the next level is that other than those two people I just named and some side characters, all the other leads are actually actors who they were gentlemen who were incarcerated in the Sing Sing prison, rehabilitated, got out, and now they're getting to play themselves. And I love that so much that they actually got these real gentlemen. And I mean, we have Clarence DeMacklin, David Garrity, Patrick Griffin, J.J. Velasquez, Sean Johnson, James Williams, Carmine Lavaco. There's probably some other gentlemen that I may have missed, but these were the ones I found in my research. And even the actual Divine G, which is the character Coleman Domingo's playing, he plays a role where he's a book fan of the book that Divine G wrote. So I thought that was pretty cool. And let me tell you, so my good friend Corey Tatum, he's been on the show multiple times. He'll be on the show more. When I got out, I was talking to him because he talked about how much he loved this movie. And I told him I was going to use this. Thank you, Corey, for giving me this. He said some things that I thought was more eloquently put than even I could do. He said that one of his favorite things about the film is they don't address why those men are incarcerated. It's not important, and we can look at them as just human beings who made a wrong choice. That's very true. All these guys, they do not tell you why they're in there. They just focus on them, dealing with the prison life, dealing with getting this production going, studying their lines, missing their families, but they never tell you why they're in there, which I thought was so cool. And he said, it's so unorthodox for a film about imprisonment, and that's what my biggest takeaway was. And he said it's so raw because 90% of those actors were real people who were incarcerated there, and they went through that theater program. And that's just another reason I love this film, because not only is it a just solid drama, but it's very heartfelt, and it's a subject that we don't normally get in this fashion. So Sing Sing, easily one of my best films of the year. And I would give it a 4.8 out of 5 cheers. I think it's just near perfect film. Fantastic. Please make sure to check it out. Sing Sing. But guys, we kept it short and sweet, just like me. And if you want to let us know what you think, or you want to tell us some movies we need to check out, don't forget, this week we'll be doing a special episode featuring Beetlejuice, as well as Mr. Snail's Pick of the Week, which this week, because it was the 4th week, was a doubleheader with Chopping Mall and The Last Dragon. So if you want to let us know what you think, or movies check out, or anything else like that, let me tell you the best ways. Check us out on Instagram and TikTok, A Toast of Film, all one word. Check us out on Twitter at film_toast, or check us out on YouTube. Just search A Toast of Film. And from Trey and myself, we just wish you a good night and good viewing.